Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. In today's video, we are going to be doing a reading and collective energy update for our beautiful collective here on YouTube. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you've all been doing really well. I am sending you love wherever you are in the world, whatever you've been going through or experiencing lately. I hope that this reading can help to provide a little bit of comfort or guidance at this time, regardless of what might be happening in your life. And it really is my goal through these readings to reconnect you with the answers that are already within yourself, because I really believe that it's our intuition that guides us accurately through life. And I know that if you are someone who is drawn to this channel and to these readings, you are most likely someone who's already been on that pathway of really peeling back all of the layers of programming, all of the ideas of what other people have told you you should think or be or believe. And you've been on this continuous journey of coming back to the core of yourself, to that pure place of intuition within you that is always guiding you correctly. And I am really happy that I can be part of that journey, even if it's just in some small way. So thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. And of course, for those of you who are subscribed or who leave comments under these videos, I really just love this whole community that we're creating together, and I am so deeply grateful for it. So I just wanted to start by saying that, and I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the traditional tarot cards, but there is one message that my guides have really been making known to me today, and it's something that we've been talking about, but I feel it needs to be emphasized here again, and it is that measures of control and cords of entanglement are being exposed. And what I mean by that is, you may have noticed, and I'm specifically getting that this has been happening for a couple months now, although of course we can experience these collective energies on different waves and different timings. But what I've been getting is that any connections in your life, in your world, professionally, in business, romantically, family connections, where there have been cords of entanglement, where there have been individuals, people, forces, groups who have been subtly trying to control you or feeling entitled to your time, your energy, your space, your love, whatever it is, in a way that has subconsciously been hooking you in some kind of way or draining you in some kind of way. The thing I'm getting about these is many of these so-called cords of entanglement or control measures are actually very subconscious, and they're very subtle. You may have had some hint from your intuition, like, I'm feeling some kind of weird energy from this person or from this structure in my life or this situation or this job or this group or whatever it is, but you may have not really been able to identify it or fully grasp a hold of it consciously, because again, it's like so subtle and so deeply subconscious. But what I'm getting is that your intuition is being confirmed to you, and anyone or anything that's been kind of subtly trying to dilute you for their own comfort or to kind of siphon some of your energy or your light for their own benefit without really reciprocating, or who has maybe started to feel entitled to that light or to, I'm almost hearing like entitled to something that you generate or something you create that you often give freely. And that's what makes this so complicating, because I almost feel like there's someone or maybe groups of people who it's like you've given them something very freely, not realizing that they may have started feeling a bit possessive over it or entitled to it in some kind of way. And if that's been the case, I see that those dynamics are coming to light really strongly. And as a result of this, you may notice that people that have been subtly trying to manage or control you or keep you for themselves or whatever the case is here, there's almost like a possessive energy, like they want to lay claim to your success or your happiness or your love and almost like own it or possess it either currently or futuristically, because in some cases, these are individuals who can sense that you're on the rise. They can sense that you are becoming increasingly rare, increasingly difficult to access by the public, that you are creating something magnificent in this world, or they can sense you're going to be doing that. And it's almost like they want a piece of that pie, or like they want to be able to lay claim to your success or something that you are going to be creating or doing, which is why I feel they're being exposed at this time. It's in part to kind of clean up those cords or cut some of those cords if necessary, because your successes, everything that's happening in your life and is going to happen in your life, it's very protected. And I almost feel like this is part of that divine protection. It's sort of sorting out the weeds in your life or in your space vibrationally, in your network, in a sense, so that when you move forward, you can do so from a place that is really energetically clear and pure and not entangled with these other kinds of control mechanisms or energies being projected from other people or forces. But I'm getting that when these individuals or groups get triggered, you will know it because there will be something very odd and almost out of character in the way that they react. And you may be very shocked when you see this reaction, because on some level, you'll think to yourself, this doesn't really seem like that person. Maybe you've known them for a really long time and you've never known them to behave that way or to react that way. And know that this is because, well, I've worded it before, like you're triggering the spirit of control in these individuals. It's almost like an energy within them that you're triggering, a control mechanism that they are personally still bound in with. I mean, from an empathetic perspective, I guess there is like a level of empathy for these individuals because they themselves are tied into control structures in their own life. They are, in a sense, feeling indebted to certain people or things or forces in their life. They are feeling controlled to some extent. So then they're continuing the pattern by continuing to project that control onto others. So what you're triggering in others is actually a collective thought form, in a sense, that you're triggering, a collective energy. It's what I've been calling the spirit of control. It's this desire to manage or dilute or control or kind of grab a hold of someone else's energy for one's own benefit. And very often those who are getting triggered in this way, they may not even know how or why they're reacting the way that they are. And some of them actually will feel very apologetic afterwards. Not all of them, but some of them may actually even apologize or feel really guilty afterwards, because they'll say something like, that's just so unlike me. That's not like me to react that way, because you're exposing within them ways in which they've been buying into these control patterns as well in their own life, ways they've been controlled by other people and situations. And sometimes individuals aren't ready to face that. And so when you bring that up within them, when you illuminate it, they project it onto you instead of processing it. Not to say that they never will process it, because of course, people have the ability to align with an unlimited number of potential versions of themselves on different timelines. And it's absolutely possible that even if someone or a group or a person or whatever is triggered in the moment, know that if you desire to have a connection with them, it's completely possible they will choose to connect with you in a higher version of themselves on a higher timeline, but it's no longer our job to kind of like descend into these lower realms, these lower timelines, to kind of be this artificial vibrational bridge for other people, to bridge them up into this higher version of themselves and make the connection work. In fact, I'm guessing that if this has been resonating for you, you've most likely been feeling a really strong resistance when it comes to connections, that I'm seeing like a motor or like mechanisms in like a car motor or something. I'm no car expert, but I feel almost as though there have been these situations where you're like down with the gears trying to like get something to work in a relationship or in a connection or a group. It's like you are the glue holding it together, and the other person may not have even realized that. And I feel that your system, I'm hearing your nervous system, your energetic system, it's becoming less tolerant to being the glue, to being the one holding everything together. And I really feel that what you're manifesting and attracting at this point in your life are effortless connections. I mean, not to say that there won't be conscious, effort, directed focus that you will put into those connections, but connections where you don't feel like you have to be the one holding everything together all the time, where you don't have to be the one pushing things forward with that person, always being the one to like quietly take the blame or whatever it is they're projecting onto you. I'm hearing like to always need to like take the moral high ground. I mean, of course, you are that beautiful kind of person that does always take the moral high ground in terms of you don't allow yourself to drop to other people's level. But what I'm getting is some of those connections where you're constantly the one bridging that gap are going to start fading out a bit. And you're going to notice that you just are tired, that you no longer have the desire to attempt to communicate your soul to someone who's not listening or who doesn't have the ability to really understand you. And I feel as though you're stepping into a version of yourself where if someone isn't really able to understand or comprehend you, or they don't want to, they're no longer going to be able to just ignore who you are, because I've said in recent readings, you are coming into this era where you're shining so brightly and so undeniably that people who may have simply kind of been on the sidelines, tolerating your glow, tolerating your successes, kind of trying to ignore them. And you know who these people are if this is for you, because it's an intuitive thing. You can sense like when something happens for you that you're really excited about, that they seem uneasy, or it creates almost like a tension. And so you learn to not really talk about your successes or your happiness or things you're creating or doing. The thing is, even if you're not actively talking about those things anymore, your light is undeniable at this point. And it's meant to be. You're meant to shine, and you are uplifting so many people around the world with that glow. But people who have been trying to ignore or deny your light aren't going to be able to any longer. I'm also hearing people who have been trying to misconstrue your heart or your intentions are not going to have, it's like they aren't going to be able to do that anymore. If you felt as though there are individuals who misconstrue your heart, your intentions, I'm getting that so many people are seeing so clearly who you are now. They're seeing you for your pure heart, for your kindness, for your generosity, for your creativity, for your spirit, beneath everything else. That I'm getting, you went through a period of time in the past where you had to endure a lot of negative gossip about you, where you had an awareness that many people misunderstood you and were talking about it. Many people did not really get you, and they were rejecting you or talking negatively about you. And you had to be strong enough to know who you are, who you were and who you are through that whole process to allow yourself to be misunderstood. Well, now you're reaching a point where it's the opposite. I said this in a previous reading, but it continues to be true collectively. People are positively gossiping about you. Like, they are talking positively behind your back. And if anyone tries to say something about you that's negative, I feel like I see you have this like crowd of defenders that rushes in because people in a general sense are now seeing your spirit. They're seeing your light. They're seeing your heart to help others and to be a light in the world. And I feel all of this momentum, like this person that you've been becoming in the cocoon behind the scenes, this version of yourself is now being revealed in a full-blown way to the world. And I just have to pause here and say, I am in awe of your transformation. I have been doing these readings for years now, and thank you to those of you who have been on the channel since the beginning. But you can see the progression. If you look back on past readings, we talked about how there were times you were so misunderstood, and we talked about the cocoon phase where you may have felt invisible to the world because you were going through this transformation and you were being protected through that. Now you're emerging as this butterfly, and it has been such an honor to see you go through this, to see you transform into the person that you are. And I know it hasn't been easy. On the other side of this, while you're being revealed in such a positive, beautiful way, your level of openness is being heightened. And therefore, there's a higher level of sensitivity happening here. So if you've noticed that at times lately you've been feeling a little drained, a little bit more raw, or like sensitive in some kind of way, emotionally or energetically, know that it's actually a positive thing, because it indicates that you've emerged from the cocoon, that you're being revealed to the world, that your frequency is being felt and heard and responded to in a positive way, that you're having a real impact on this planet with this frequency that you're carrying. Never underestimate that impact. So I'm going to go ahead and I keep saying it's funny in the readings when I say I'm going to reshuffle, but I got on some long tangent and haven't even actually shuffled yet. I know you guys love to know what I'm drinking during the readings, at least some of you. So for those of you who like to know, I have an iced crafted press because it's really hot where I am right now. Let me know what the weather's been like where you are, but my crafted press has coconut milk and milk chocolate and espresso in it. So let me know what you're drinking during this reading. I would love to know if you have anything with you, any snacks, anything like that. But I am going to start shuffling here, and I would like to know, wow, I feel like we just channeled through such big messages. By the way, I know this is such a random thing to say, but I hope you know that every day, most days, I try to make gratitude lists of appreciation, to list out the things that I'm grateful for in different areas of my life. And you, this channel, this audience, our community, all of you listening, you make my list so often, because I feel like we're creating the kind of community that many of us haven't had growing up or in our actual physical geographical location. Although I do keep saying that is really going to be changing. I feel that we're going to be connecting more in person. I mean, in a general sense, that we are going to be meeting more like-minded souls and people around us. I know many of us have walked very lonesome lives physically, in a way, feeling somewhat like we haven't fully found that community. And so many of us are craving that. And I really feel that's something that's coming in this new era. Now, I know that I'm really just putting this out here as a collective, get the ball rolling on a dream board manifestation. But I keep thinking that one day I have this like vision of us doing some kind of community, like, I don't know, activity or trip or like get together or something in person someday. I think that would be such a beautiful thing. I have no idea when or how or what that would look like, but I think that would be such an incredible thing to kind of vision towards. At least it's a really nice vision that I kind of have been having. Maybe someone's had that vision and that's why I've been picking up on it. So let me know. But a card just flew out here. Okay, so I have the Four of Cups in the upright position. Wow. I am getting so many chills in this reading, so much spiritual confirmation. First of all, what I want to say is, on a personal note, I have personally been feeling myself going through another major throat chakra upgrade and kind of like an energetic recalibration. I kind of feel like this has been happening for me a lot in the last, I would say 3 to 6 months, where I'll go through a period of time of feeling really, really good. And then I almost feel like I have this crash out energetically for no reason, but I know it's for a cosmic or spiritual reason, because it's like I'll just start to feel really tired or really depleted. It's almost like my spirit is saying, okay, take a few days to just rest. And that's what I've been doing a lot of the last couple days. And I'm sharing this because I feel that collectively we are going through kind of like these cycles of recalibration and upgrades, and then kind of periods of time where it feels like we're soaring and then recalibrating again. And I would love to know in the comments if any of you have had any experience with this, where you've either gotten sick or just kind of worn down or tired for periods of time and then felt like lighter after that, almost like you'd gone through some kind of like recalibration or upgrade. I'm so curious to know about that. But I also want to say that a lot of what you may be feeling right now, if you have been feeling a little more tired, I feel like this also has to do with the fact that you've been emerging from that cocoon. And that cocoon that we were in, the cocoon of isolation, the cocoon of transformation, it served a purpose. It was a lonely time, but also a closed off time in the sense that we weren't as affected by collective energies, but also we weren't having as much of an impact on collective energies, if that makes sense. I talk about how it goes both ways with being someone who's as empathic as you are, because when you're feeling energy from environments and people and situations and groups really strongly, the empowering side of that equation is you are impacting those spaces and those groups and those people as strongly as you're feeling affected, if not more so, because light is stronger than darkness. And so when we were in the cocoon, it's almost like there was a buffer where we felt kind of a form of being closed off from other people and things and environments, but also we were buffered from being as affected, but also buffered from being able to have as much of an impact. Now I feel like your energy is being felt, it's being heard, it's being responded to on this really high level in such a real way. And this is resounding not just through the planet, but through the quantum realm, the energetic realm that like overlays everything happening physically. And I'm hearing specifically your energy is being felt through your soul network. And when I say soul network, I'm referring to the people that you've ever met or connected with consciously. I mean, of course, technically our spiritual soul network is a lot bigger than people we've consciously met in this lifetime. There are a lot of past life connections there as well. But I'm specifically talking about this network in the quantum realm of souls that you have actually consciously had a connection with. Now, it may have been brief. These could be strangers that you just locked eyes with or passed, but you had a soul connection with. So that small moment activated them for you in the quantum realm, in this like network, this soul network, as I'm calling it. But because you've emerged from this cocoon recently, I know that's been kind of repeated, but it's worth really noting because it's been major. By the way, as a result of that, you'll know if this is for you because there have been times you've actually felt guided to like get out there and like do things that are out of the ordinary for you, at least for the past cocooned version of yourself. Maybe you felt guided to like go out more frequently, even to like a park or to the store or the gym or like just out in your community. Maybe you've actually felt guided to travel or to go to different events or social events, like to put yourself out there. Maybe you've been putting yourself out there like online or creating in some kind of way, sharing your business, sharing your ideas. But you'll know this message is for you because at times you felt this urge to reconnect or to share yourself with the world around you, with your community, with the planet in a way you haven't felt like during this cocoon phase. That's how you know you're emerging. So when I say that you're being felt by your soul network, what I mean is people are sensing that something has changed in you. People from your past, people you've had meaningful connections with. I'm hearing people you've said hard goodbyes to. Goodbyes that were maybe not even spoken, but goodbyes that you had to say to them within yourself without getting that external closure. That might be the case for some of you. But these individuals that you have met or had some kind of connection to, I'm hearing yes, even that person. I don't know why that wanted to come through. Maybe one of you was thinking of someone and your guides, higher self, whatever you connect with, they wanted to say, yes, even that person. Like we're talking about that person too, that person that you just thought of when I was talking about people in your soul network sensing that you've changed. They're sensing this regardless of your level of physical interaction or communication with them. By the way, some of these people you may have zero communication with. You may never see them, but they are thinking of you because they're feeling this. Well, they're feeling you having emerged from the cocoon. They're feeling this vibration shift and they're feeling you on the rise is what I'm hearing as well. Whatever that means for you, maybe it's in a career, in a business, in your life generally, like you are on the rise in some kind of way and they are sensing it. Specifically, this is a wake-up call for a lot of people in your soul network who missed some kind of opportunity with you unconsciously. They're becoming conscious of the fact that they unconsciously missed an opportunity with you, which I know sounds really strange, but it's like they are. By the way, I had to pause the video there for a second because I had to sneeze, which rarely ever happens during a reading. But what that tells me is, because you know how sometimes they say, there's superstition that when you sneeze, it's because it's a potential sign that someone's thinking of you. Well, I'm getting that in a general sense. You may be getting signs that certain people are thinking about you and specifically feeling a lot of emotion about you because there's a lot of Cancer energy here. Now, maybe the month of July we're in Cancer season right now. Happy birthday, by the way, to all of my beautiful Cancers out there. But I feel as though there are a lot of people who are going through an internal reevaluation. It's almost like a soul checkpoint that you've brought them to quietly. I feel like they're not outward about this, but you sense this happening if of course you're someone who's very in tune with your intuition. So you've probably like had that nudge. Like, I feel like that person's going through something like a crisis of sorts, an awakening, like they're internally reevaluating how they treated you, reevaluating their life path. There's some kind of reevaluation, almost like a soul checkpoint, like their higher self is saying, are you really happy with your life? I mean, this could be platonically, romantically. And somehow you've played a role in this soul checkpoint for them because I feel like you're showing up as someone who hasn't played by society's rules. You're showing up as someone who, I'm hearing you went through it early. So maybe you went through your own soul checkpoint where you had to take a hard look at yourself and say, am I really happy with this life I'm creating? And you were honest with yourself and you decided to go down this unconventional pathway to pursue and facilitate your own true happiness in spite of what society would think about it, in spite of what people around you would say about it. And you had the courage to do that. And now it's like you are this butterfly, you're glowing, you're shining, you're visible, you are being sensed. And these individuals who chose a more conventional route but never really asked themselves, am I happy? They're now going through a soul evaluation that you probably went through a long time ago. I feel like you're actually someone who is very in touch with yourself. So you are always reevaluating, am I happy with this pathway? Is this the path for me? You may call yourself an overthinker, but the truth is, I feel that you are just someone who is deeply in tune. And this gets labeled as all kinds of things by society, including overthinking. I feel like you are actually just someone who is not willing to tolerate less than fulfilling their true soul purpose here on earth. So you put a lot of thought into the steps that you take, into the direction of your life. And I hope that me saying that could help reframe that for someone, because this is actually such a beautiful quality about you. Okay, so yeah, there are people who are feeling like they missed some kind of boat here. I mean, maybe this actually has to do with you, where they feel like they missed a chance to connect with you or to be with you if it's a romantic context. But for some of these individuals, it's more like them feeling like they missed chances in their life to go for what they really wanted. And this wake up call isn't to push them into regret. It's to tell them it's not too late. Now is the time. Wake up. I kept getting this download in my mind that like something about your energy, it's like repeating this refrain in people's minds, like wake up, like wake up spiritually, wake up emotionally, wake up to your highest potential. Something about your energy is just like sounding that wake up call for other people in the most beautiful way. However, there's a lot of grief attached with this as well. With the Five of Cups, I feel that this wake-up call you are sending out to others, it's forcing them to confront those missed opportunities of their past, but it's meant to push them to make a new decision now, whether this is romantic or otherwise. Yeah, I'm hearing missed time. They may feel as though they've wasted too much time, especially if this is romantic and it's someone coming back from your past. They're worried they let too much time go by. But this is meant to be a wake-up call, not to push them into regret, but to push them to take action in the present. So I already know that in today's extended, we're going to go into the specifics of this. So we're going to talk about some of the specific people and energies who are feeling like they missed some kind of opportunity, either with you or with their life generally, what they're feeling, what those individuals might mean to you, whether they're going to reach out, all those kinds of things. We'll be picking up a lot of different threads of energy there, as well as whatever wants to come through that reading in terms of other side messages or tangent channelings there as well. So if you have been feeling a connection here and you are guided to join me in the extended reading, you can tune into that either on Patreon or YouTube memberships. And I do those extended channelings every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with these readings. So it's a beautiful way to receive some extended messages 3 times a week. And yeah, the links for that are underneath the video, but I am going to close this reading with a 𝗟𝗵𝗵𝗵 message. You guys know I just recently purchased a new 𝗟𝗵𝗵𝗵 Oracle deck, which is pretty much my old one, except I've noticed that some of the guidebook messages have been updated and reworded. So I actually feel that there is a good bit of fresh energy in this deck, in this guidebook. So okay. For some reason, I've never really felt guided to read what's on the cover of the guidebook, but there's something about this that feels relevant, an invitation into the heart of the divine. Maybe you invite others into the heart of the divine. I'm not sure, or maybe you're feeling invited into like a deeper space of divinity within yourself or your own heart or something of that nature. But I just felt guided to read that. The card is slow to come out today, so bear with me. What is a message I can channel through? Okay. The all-encompassing hand. So I'm going to go ahead and read from the guidebook here. And the guidebook says, "You are the essence of my existence. Who am I? A mirror in your hand. Whatever you do, I will do. I am your irresistible reflection. With every breath I feel, my heart is beating with yours. In your joy, I am exuberant. In your sadness, I am in sorrow. If you are bitter, I become bitter. If you are grace, I become grace. My joy is when I am bewildered in your beauty and taste the sweetness of love on your lips. If I pick a rose without you, it becomes a thorn in my hand. If I am the thorn, I become the rose in your hand, Rumi. I'm trying to decide whether we're meant to read a further message here, so I'm going to see if I get a hit from any of these lines. Allow that divine hand to reach for you, beloved. Do not turn it away. Do not let old shame, guilt, or mistaken notions of false independence keep you from accepting this heavenly hand. This hand will deftly unravel the ties that have bound your own hands, preventing you from fully giving and receiving according to your worth, which is incontestable and without limit. So I'm going to go ahead and close the reading there, although of course we will be continuing now to the extended, and the link to listen to the extended reading is underneath the video. Otherwise, I am sending you all huge amounts of love and light energy as always. Have a beautiful remainder of your day and start to your week, and I will connect with you here again in Wednesday's collective reading.